Yeah, how does the move
you
to
think
Red
it's
Bull
too-
happen?
Yeah.
It was a big bag of money, and I sent it to Christian, and he was like, "All right, that's enough money." No, I'm just kidding.
You paid Christian.
No,
No.
so here's how that.
So you got headhunted or what happened?
I applied for a job. Long story short,
Okay.
there was a job going for performance engineer, and like that's when you're in the small team, you're like, I was like, I want to get to the top, man. I want to work with Sebastian Vettel. I want to work with Daniel Ricciardo, whatever. Like
Right.
you see that, and like I knew the guys that do that, and I knew that they were both moving on. So there was a job going, so I applied for it. My first interview was with Rocky and the old performance engineer called Tim. That was my first interview. And then Seb was there as well. I was like,
Seb was there?
Yeah, Sebastian Vettel interviewed me for my first interview at Red Bull.
What
Oh
did
my
he ask you?
God.
Did he ask you questions where you're like, this guy knows his shit?
No, but like, most of the questions he asked me were like very interpersonal questions, like why do you want to do this? He's like, and Rocky was the
wow.
same way. Rocky was like, you moved from America. Rocky used to race engineer Indy cars. Like that's Rocky's
Right.
home ground is, being in America doing that. But Seb was like, what's your motive? Like, what do you want to do? Like, why do you want to do this? And they asked me some technical questions, and I was very comfortable
Vettel
with
wanted
them.
to know the guy.
Yeah. Vettel's a very person. Like he's a people guy. He's
Wow.
he's really good technically, but he needs, like, at the end of the day, when you're working with these guys for 20 something races a year, you need to have a good relationship. And he's like, if I don't get along with you, I don't give a fuck how smart or how good you are at your job. Because if I hate you and like I think you're a dork, we can't communicate. So we got on well. I got the job eventually after a couple more
Wait,
interviews.
who was your next interview? Oh, okay. I want to know who was the last interview.
The last interview was a senior person in the team, and it was like
Okay.
it was the person that just like behind the scenes made sure everything worked, and they were like, okay,
So
like
was
you.
no Schmishman, Schmorner action?
No, I never talked to Christian before I joined the team.
Okay.
And Vettel didn't.
I'll choose to
Vettel.
believe
It was
you.
Vettel's final question. Like, so how do you feel about climate change?
No, he didn't ask me about that one. But a funny story though. So I don't want to jump ahead too far, but I never got to work with Seb because that was when Seb left for Ferrari. And then also Seb went to Ferrari. I did not get to work with Rocky because he became the chief race engineer. And my race engineer that I worked with for my entire career at Force India also jumped ship to go to Red Bull as well. So I worked with GP for the entire 6 years I was at the track, which was cool. He and I were like, we got on. But
he just followed you there and was like, "It's Brittany, bitch. It's me."
Yeah, it was like
that.
so. Here's
And you're like,
that was actually even funnier story. So we're in Spa 2014. It's before the race, and GP's like, "Hey man, you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Have you checked Twitter?" I'm like, "No, dude, I don't use Twitter." And he's like, "Okay, cool." I was like, that was a weird interaction, And then I sit down at my computer for the race. I'm checking my spreadsheets and making sure all the telemetry is loaded and we're good. And the one of the guys next to me is like, "Hey, GP's going to Red Bull too." I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" He opens up Twitter and it's in my face, and I was like, "Okay." And then GP like apologized to me after. He's like, "I'm sorry, I know you don't want to work with me anymore." I'm like, "No, it's not like that, dude." So GP
just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah, exactly. Good for
Wait,
him.
so I want to get into Vettel because you got in there to work with Vettel, but I dug in because this was pre Drive to Survive, but I
Pre-DTS.
I did some DTS. I did some digging, Blake.
Okay, you got some dirt.
Daniel Ricciardo
You got
is
some dirt you
beating
wanna
the
talk about,
fucking
Matt?
brakes. Daniel Ricciardo is beating the fucking brakes off Vettel, and it looked like Vettel ran off like a little bitch to Ferrari because he couldn't stand the heat that Ricciardo was fucking slinging at him. Am I wrong?
I think that car really played to Daniel's strengths.
Okay.
But
This is
you're
foreshadowing for what's coming later
Yeah.
for Daniel.
Yes,
But,
yes, yes, it is. But it's also foreshadowing to what you saw with Seb. Like Seb dominated that, blown diffuser, everything. You can't take that away from him. It wasn't the best car either, and it wasn't the best engine. But
It wasn't?
nah.
Really?
Oh, there were points where it was the best car, but there were definitely points where they clawed back from kind of being in the mix.
I see.
It wasn't always.
Who would
the
you
best,
think?
but,
Who
that
was,
was that.
it would have been Ferrari? Who
Who did you think had
else?
the best car those years?
Yeah, in that era.
I've erased it from my memory because it was too painful, and that was before I was in the sport. So.
Okay, so you actually don't know.
No, I don't think it was the best car all the time. There was definitely years where they were
But we asked you. But Blake, we asked you who you thought had the best car, and you're like, I don't fucking know.
Nah, it wasn't.
Nailed him.
It wasn't
Nailed
him.
him.
All right. I'm on the fraud watch, man. I'm out. I gotta go.
What happens when you get? That's what happens.
Wait.
This is the no spin zone. We're Bill O'Reilly, okay?
Yeah, fucking hell.
Wait, but because I was looking at Daniel's results, he beat Vettel.
Yep.
He was beating Verstappen those years. So you were there in the Ricardo years, like he was good.
Yeah,
He was really good.
He was a dude.
Do you think do you think Ricardo like could have been a world championship driver if Red Bull didn't take a dip to Mercedes in those years, or no?
Probably, yeah. But I don't know. And those are really, really hard questions, and yeah, you never know what you don't know.
So wait, you come in in what, in 2014 at Red Bull? What's your first year at Red Bull?
15 was my first. 15 with Kvyat. So Vettel goes Ferrari. Kvyat joins Red Bull alongside Ricardo.
Right.
Yeah.
And then 6 races in, they move him back to Toro Rosso, and then or is that the next year?
That was the next season.
No,
okay.
So what I don't understand is Kvyat. I actually looked this up. Kvyat beat Ricardo in the points.
Yeah, he
and then they shipped his ass off.
Yeah.
So can you explain that a little bit?
I don't know. Honestly, I
don't know.
From what it seems like it's in the media, like Max hungry to get to the top. There's contract deals. People are trying to get at him, whatever. So they're like, right, let's do this deal. Kvyat's had a really rough start to 2016. He had a little ding dong in Russia, smashing into Seb, and it was just a shit fight. So why don't we do this? Let's just do. I show up in the office and they're like, right, you've got a new driver for Barcelona. Get ready. I was like, cool. It was like that. I mean, I don't know the details, but that's what I come in. I find out, right, Max is your new driver. He'll be here for the sim. We're gonna get to know him. Have fun.
So Max,
and that first race he wins.
No, I don't. Yeah. Did he win?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
He won the first race.
He won his first race at Red Bull.
That was when Rosberg and
Hamilton crashed.
Up,
Whoa! Right.
Dub.
Right.
So Max
so we gotta slow this the fuck down.
Put the brakes on.
Yeah.
Hit
Pump
the
the brakes.
brakes.
Okay. Fuck
Okay,
yeah. Plug the channel. Plug the channel.
So they go. We're gonna you have a new driver. His name is Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the first time you laid eyes on this fucking kid?
He shows up in the simulator to do a race prep session to get involved. Like, here's how the steering wheel works. Here's how the race procedures work. Here's what we're gonna do on blah blah blah. And yeah.
What was your first impression of him as a driver? If you don't want to get into the personal, that's fine.
Nah, like he's direct dude, friendly, nice to talk to, young kid, super keen, just like into it. He's fire and quick.
So when he was in the simulator, were you like
the simulator's
Morpheus?
always hard to tell.
He is the one.
Like,
that wasn't. You were like because Christian is like Morpheus, like he is the one.
Right. Yeah. We it was one of those things you never know. Like the simulators are weird. Some drivers get on well with simulators, some of them don't. So like you don't really use simulators to assess pure pace very often.
I see.
Right.
But it's more of a tool.
Did Christian bring him in and say, "Take good care of him"? This is
basically it's like here's your new driver. This is it.
Right.
It's like here's the deal. You've got a new driver.
Okay.
He's starting. He's gonna be driving the car in Barcelona. Danny's going to drive the Toro Rosso. He's still got a seat. Don't worry about him. He'll be fine. But that was it. It was super weird. I'm like, okay, cool, new driver.